know, we were giving this presentation to Jim Van Hecke's group a few months ago, and a law enforcement official approached us. And gotta love law enforcement, they're wonderful. He wanted to know, he wanted our advice and our input on how he could have handled a situation better. He went on to share that he received a 911 call from a woman who'd reported being emotionally and physically abused by her husband. And sure enough, when he arrived at the home, he was greeted by an incredibly intoxicated and belligerent man who greeted law enforcement into his home as if they were family and directed them to a poor woman, thin and frail, hunched over in a wheelchair, crying. This was his wife. And as the law enforcement officer went over to talk to her, he quickly identified she was a victim. After talking with her just a little bit more, he found that she had been emotionally and physically abused. So he turned to arrest her husband. And miraculously, she shed her victim exterior and moved into the role of hero. And said, "Oh no, he said he was sorry. Please don't take him away. Things will be different as soon as you leave. He'll calm down. Everything will be okay." So the law enforcement officer, confused, turned back to the woman and said, "Well, is there someplace safe we can take you? A friend, a family, a relative. I don't want to leave you here." Quickly, she stopped being the hero and she moved into the role of martyr. Said, "No, I'll be fine. He needs me. Soon he'll be sober, and I need to stand by my man." So the truth is, when the law enforcement officer asks what he could have done, there's not much. Because what he needs to realize, and what society needs to realize, is that that woman, that enabler, is every bit as diseased as the belligerent alcoholic that answered the door. And all we can do is treat that person exactly like we would an addict. Help them understand their choices. Allow them to make their own decisions. And allow them to deal with the consequences of their actions. Because you see, it is only when an enabler no longer feels the need to be a victim, a hero, or a martyr in their own story that their recovery can actually begin.